Good afternoon, morbid angels. Today we are going to be going over 10 old school death metal from the 90's, some underrated gems, some stuff you might not have heard of. Before you do that, please consider subscribing. We're trying to defeat some other dumbass metalheads on YouTube. We gotta overthrow them because I'm the king of this stuff. Hey, but coming up, we have Judeca with Beyond What the Eyes Can't See. This is Florida death metal. I think 1995 from Wild Rag Records. Anything Wild Rag back then is pretty much you know what you're getting. You're getting some good stuff. But yeah, Judeca, they have a split with Horror of Horrors. I really love 90's death metal artwork on the inside, the CDs. A lot of the Wild Rag CDs, like Torture Crypt and Internal Bleeding, had really awesome artwork. I know Blasphemy was on Wild Rags too. They have some awesome artwork. But if you haven't checked it out, definitely check out Judeca. I would only listen to that one. Their demo is kind of crap. But as we have Denter with Desecrated. Now, Denter, this was on Pulverizer Records for all you sickening erotic Mortal Decay fans. Dying Fetus too. I think Flesh Grind. Pulverizer Records, really obscure. But this is some Meat and Bone, like Broken Hope esque style death metal. I enjoy it, but you're not gonna find too much like jazz and stuff like that. But if you can get your hands on this for a good amount of money, I definitely would. If you're into just meat and bone death metal, you're gonna like it. Next we have Rivore with Iniquitous, very good death metal. I think from 1993. This was a Drowned production CD. I forget what else was on Drowned. I think, yeah, I can't even remember what was on Drowned. But Drowned was like this very. It used to. It was what Repulsed Records was before Repulsed Records was a thing. Rivore, if you haven't checked it out, they were a Pittsburgh band, kind of like in the area of Ohio. I think they're still around. I think Brian Baxter of Embalmer and Regurgitation just joined as their vocalist. This I really love. I even like the 92 demo, the 7-inch. I think that one is a little better than this, but it has some great songs on it. Spawn of Ignorance is really good. Disembodied is really good. It's just if you could get this one, I really highly recommend. Again, nothing too fancy with these 90's death metal gems, But I think this was limited to 1,000 copies, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been 500 or 1,000. But Rivore is a main staple in my collection. I remember in like 2021, I was listening to it like every single day. Oppressor is one that not a lot of people know. This was on Red Light Records. I don't even know what Red Light Records was. But Oppressor, really cool band. This is Solstice of Oppression. Now you're going to find some more substance with this one, a little bit more guitar work than the previous 3 death metal albums that I mentioned. But if you haven't, I would definitely give this a spin. If you're into like more like guitar solo-y type of, like if your death metal is more like death, cynic, atheist, sort of like even like deicide, as opposed to like the monstrosity, broken hope sort of cavernous death metal, like Wombbath and like stuff like, I guess, more generic. Mortal Scold. Now, people usually go with the first Mortal Scold. I like this one. It's as Humanity Fades on Def Records. Now with this one, you're getting a lot more groove and doom elements as opposed to the first one. Now, Mortal Scold is one of those bands where it's like, you listen to it you listen to them all, but this is where I think As Humanity Fades sort of takes a different approach to their style. Again, with the more groovy, doomy, like not like slam, like internal bleeding when I say that, but if you listen to it, you'd understand. But definitely more like than Gore Fest False. So this is not, this is like a weird little slipcase version of False, but it doesn't have that cool like Napalm Death sort of like red collage where it's like the chapel and like the gun and the skeleton. But you know, I'm just happy to have it. I always thought that Gore Fest was heavily slept on. I think Gore Fest is one of the best death metal, classic 90s death metal bands ever. It's funny, I know Justin Horville, aka Dead by Dog, said the same thing. I know he's sort of like the head main guru right now for Hell's Headbangers for like the scene. But you know, I do agree that Gorefest False is some of the best death metal that not a lot of people respect or even care to listen to. The next ones are going to be some tapes. We have Morning with Amputator. This was a tape I got around like maybe like 2018, 2019, 2020, so very early on. This is sort of like their country's answer to Cannibal Corpse, so it's like early Broken Hope, Swamped in Gore, and like Butchered at Birth sort of Cannibal Corpse sound. You know, you're getting some just heavy, like proto brutal death metal, like, but it's really just like really heavy, down to death metal. I think this is either like 91, 92, 93. I think 93 or 92. I can't recall. But Amputator is really good. Really, just all of Mortem is really, really good. Ohio band Blessed Sickness with Massacre of the Holy. Now, this is really cool. This actually took me by surprise. It starts off with some really good guitar work. It goes into like an Exorcist 3 sample. I know Exorcist 3 is sort of like the main go-to soundtrack or like thing to put in songs, like None So Vile, Cryptopsy, and like Gorgasm, and you know, stuff like that. Viscera Infest, the gore grind from Japan, sample it. But Blessed Sickness, if you haven't checked it out, definitely do. Again, just those first couple tracks really get you in the mood. Some really cool stuff. I am thankful for this. I got it a while ago, but the thing about this one is it just keeps you listening to it. There's a lot of substance. I think this was like 1994. It has like 9 tracks. Yeah, 9 tracks. So if you can pick this up on cassette, I think it just got reissued on CD like a few years back. But if you can get an original tape, of course, original stuff is great. A little bit more known band, but not really unless you're into this style of underground death metal. But Morpheus Descends with Ritual of Infinity. Their drummer plays in Mortician now, but if you haven't checked this out, I definitely would do. Corpse Under Glass is a great song. Immortal Coil is a great song. Enthralled to Serve. You're getting some very classic, very early New York death metal that's not, you know, pyrexia, internal bleeding, and torturement, repudiation, malignancy. It's none of that. When I say New York death metal, it's more so like, you know, the incantations, the agoraphobias, mythic, you know, stuff like that. But Morpheus Descends is really cool. I think Dark Descent put out like vinyls or CDs, but those are expensive too. But if you can get an original JL America version, I highly recommend. The art. My camera's kind of sucking. I'm in my kitchen right now. But yeah, it has really cool artwork. One of my favorite. This is like a variant of the logo, like older logo. But if you haven't checked out Morpheus Descends, I highly recommend this one. Their next like EP is a lot more doomy. So if you're into like Cyanide and Mythic and Winter, you might enjoy that a lot more. But yeah, I enjoy this one. It That is a must. And then probably my top pick for most slept on old school death metal album ever is Resurrection with Embalmed Existence. You're getting some very nice artwork, sort of like that like early benediction type of like artwork. You have a lot of samples on this. Each song has a sample. Kind of reminds me of like the Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt. Now, this has slams, but it's not brutal death metal. Sort of like Daemonacy, where it's not really brutal death metal, but it still has slams. I mean, like, stuff like Disma has slams, and, like, Imprecation. Like, there's an overflow of slams in death metal, like Ripping Corpse, that isn't just brutal death metal. But Resurrection is a Florida band. It starts off very fast and aggressive, and it goes into a nice little slam chug. Again, with the samples in between each song, I really think that Torture Chamber is a magnificent track. Disembodied, Rage Within, Pure Be Damned. You're getting great stuff. I found this sealed at a record, like a little like hole in the wall record shop in like a weird part of Philly, like 8 years ago. I popped it open. First glance, I didn't even know what this was, and I was just taken away. But Resurrection never got the recognition they deserved. I think that it is a main staple in death metal. Brutal death metal fans will enjoy it. Slam fans will enjoy it. Old school death metal heads will enjoy it. Thrashers may enjoy it. It has a little bit of everything going for it, which is why it's so accessible to me as someone who is a part of all four of them scenes. You know, the thrash, the brutal death metal, old school death metal, slam. You know, I'm very well versed and a part of each of them. So Resurrection, like I said, just kind of hits all them checkpoints. It's very early nuclear blast. You know you're getting something good. Again, amazing artwork. So those are some old school death metal albums that you might not know, some more obscure stuff. You know, this isn't the Vader, the Cannibal Corpse, the Obituaries. So I wanted to give you a little taste of something new to enjoy from the old, from the banished, from the forgotten realms. You know, people like Ken's Death Metal Crypt isn't here on YouTube anymore, so someone needs to spread the sickness the correct way instead of these freaking gabagoo posers infesting my YouTube feed, infesting the minds of these impressionable teens and young adults. So, yeah, thanks for checking out. Again, subscribe, please. It really helps me. You know, it's getting harder with work and adult life. Like, I'm not 20 years old anymore. I can't just make YouTube videos all day, post memes all day on Extreme Metal Memes, demand extreme posting on Facebook. But I do appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch my videos and discuss with me in my YouTube comments. So thanks again, and be seeing you real soon, because I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos more recently. So peace.